welcome everybody here to our Thursday night edition of the Reservation Roundup here with Coach Kevin Cook of your Tioga Indians. We are live at Quebedeaux here in Pineville. Every Thursday night we have the Reservation Roundup. We get to talk to Coach about last week's matchup, this upcoming week, get to talk to some players, coaches. We get to mix it up, and it's just a good little crowd that we have that come out here every Thursday night. Make sure when you come, you wear some of your Tioga gear. They give you a little special menu here, and I'm telling you, you can't get a better price on food than what they give you here at Quebedeaux. So, Coach, good to have you back here. Last week, we weren't able to come to Quebedeaux. We had the homecoming parade, but good to have you back, Coach.
Well, it was fun to be out there for the homecoming parade and have a little bit different feel. But it's always great to be back at Quebedeaux. It's one of my favorite places to eat anyways, and so it just works out really good.
Absolutely. You get to meal, you get to talk some football, you get to hang out with some people. It's just a great Thursday night edition. Got a big game tonight. Saints playing as well, so we know a lot of people's going to be tuning into us and then tune back into the Saints game. But we'll try to make it as interesting as we possibly can.
I don't really understand why they'd want to talk about the Saints if they could talk about Tioga High School football.
What's better than Tioga?
It's kind of hard to imagine. But people got to get their priorities straight. We got to pray that the Lord will just intervene and help them to get right with Him.
How about we just take the sponsorship and the budget that the Saints have and then just focus that on Tioga? We'll be good to go.
We can focus it on me and you a little too, if you don't mind.
I'm
just going to throw that out there.
Hey, I like the way you think, Coach.
Right.
I'm with you.
That's right.
But again, this is the Reservation Roundup here on Thursday nights at Quebedeaux with Coach Kevin Cook. Coach, talking a little bit about last week's ball game. What a game! It was a emotional roller coaster to say the least.
Oh yeah.
Just had a whole lot of stuff. We had a lot of views, a lot of people watching, and there was a lot of views with about 22 seconds left in the first half. I can promise you that.
There probably was a lot of views.
They wanted to know why it happened, how it happened, what happened, why it was called. Had a big matchup against Franklin Parish. Both of us coming into that ball game 5-1, and of course, Tioga does get the W at the end of the day, and that's the most important thing. But had some calls that just did not go Tioga's way. And, of course, you got to watch film. I watched, of course, I went back and watched it again as well.
Yeah.
Jacorian getting thrown out of the game for, I guess, it's called targeting, but, I don't know if it's malicious intent is what they got. But from what I watched, and maybe you can correct me, it was such a bang-bang play. Jacorian was the first one there to make the hit. The young man, when he hit him, it looked like he spun in the air from what I got to see. And then that's when Josh hit him immediately right after that. They called Jacorian with the targeting as opposed. I didn't agree with it. I didn't think it was targeting either way. But if it was, to me it looked like it would have been the second hit would have been more involved with the targeting.
Well, if I understand right, we talked to the people in Baton Rouge who are in charge of this, and they agreed that it was not a targeting call. It was a penalty, but it was the wrong penalty, and the ejection was wrong.
Okay. See, there we go. That's why we do these shows right here.
At the end of the day, that is what happened. Those guys are doing the best that they can out there in a split-second decision. You would like to think they would err on the side of the kid. But, in this case, that's not what happened. But at the end of the night, we won. Those guys are growing in their skills and abilities as well. And so they'll get better every week. Hopefully we get better at playing and coaching every week. And so it all comes out in the wash at the end of the day.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Of course, whether you like the call, you're upset at the call and all that, they are human. They do. They don't have the luxury of a replay. I had the luxury while I called the game. We were able to go back on our feed on YouTube and watch it and get to see it. They don't have that. They don't have that luxury.
They don't. Well, that's why I don't like the ejection call. I could live with penalties, and I could live with them. In this case, by the book, they were correct about it being a penalty. Yeah. From the way the rules read, and I am all about the safety of all players, ours included. But, when you don't have the capability of instant replay, it's not college football, and I don't think we should toss people out unless it's clearly flagrant, and it was deemed by the powers that be in Baton Rouge that it was not.
Yeah.
But at the end of the night, like I said, I'm not mad about it. They're humans. They make mistakes. They made one. it didn't cost the game, for us. And so
just made it a lot, tighter.
Well,
but it didn't cost us, absolutely.
I always say this: you never know why things turn out the way that they do. You go outside with a flat tire tomorrow morning for work. You're an hour late for work. Well, maybe the Lord saved you from having a terrible car accident.
Absolutely, yes.
And so, maybe that was a way that, keeping a kid off the field the only way you could. And it's maybe protected him from something we don't know about. And so we have to try to look at it that way. We have to try to remember the officials are people.
Yep.
They're doing the best that they can, for $75 a night. So,
right.
That's just kind of the way that it is.
Well, let me ask you this, and we'll talk about that real quick, and then we'll move off of the officials. But the little bit later on in the game, Karlinski Lloyd ended up getting thrown out as well. Him and the receiver.
Him and the kid from Franklin Parish each were ejected. That was also overruled, and they're both able to play this week.
That's what I was asking.
Both
I
Franklin
make sure
Parish's
he didn't
receiver
have to sit
and our
out. Awesome,
defender.
fantastic. So we'll be at full strength with which we knew because Jacorian got even if they would have kept the ruling. Being that he was out of the second half, he would have been able to play this week anyway. So that's good enough. So we'll be fully loaded. All right, we're going to shift gears to some good positive things that happened in the game. Hell, defense. Coach Mooter and the D-line did a really good job of shaking up this quarterback, and I know you know it. Ellis was a heck of a football. He is a heck of a football player.
He really is.
And
good.
They were able to really hold him from, he didn't have his best games. He had a couple of touchdown passes. One we got in a little mixed coverage over the middle. But the defense did a very good job. That was the lowest output, I believe, that Franklin Parish has scored all season.
Well, the Coach Burnett does a great job. He's an extremely intelligent man. He schemed up the little play there, for the touchdown pass. And then one, our corner just gets beat. It's good old-fashioned got beat football. And, the bad thing about being a DB, if you're a defensive lineman and you get beat, there's a lot of people behind you. Chances are somebody's making that tackle.
Right.
And really nobody in the bleachers knows it.
Yeah.
But if you're a corner, particularly corners and then next safeties, and you get beat, everybody knows it because the band's playing. And so, we have a really good corner. He's going to end up playing college football, with Max. He's really talented. But, in the NFL, those guys, they get beat. That's how people score. And they're going – and so, they just peak a little bit too long in the backfield or whatever the case may be. But I'm proud of Max. He's a great football player for us. Wouldn't trade him for anybody else. But gave up one there, and then the play over the middle. Coach Burnett just did a great job of calling the right play at the right time. Yeah. And they kind of caught us in a certain stunt right there. But that's football. That's the way it goes. And so they're also a one-loss team going into that game for a reason. They're very well coached and a lot of good talent out there. But I was real proud of our defense for bowing up in the red zone multiple times.
Yes.
And having the success that they had that kind of kept us within striking distance when we needed to be.
Absolutely, and had a couple of possible interception, one that was an interception and called back for a penalty. But, they were getting pressure on that young man, doing a great job of kind of mixing it up, and he wasn't able to get out as much as he could. He had to roll out a lot to make the throws that he made, so the few passes that he did. On the offensive side, super impressed, and we've talked about it, and I know that, everybody's hyped up. He got in the running for Player of the Week. But Case Malone in that fourth quarter, Coach, he literally took that team on each other. To me, in my eyes of watching him now for his second year, and I've got to see every snap that he's had, this game here, it looked like he literally grew up in front of our eyes. Yeah. And just basically became a young man into a man, and he just took that game on his shot. I think he carried the ball almost 5 or 6 times in a row on that game-winning drive of just smash-mouth football right down the throat.
Yeah, our offensive line and Case, together just said, hey, this is what we're going to go do. Yep. And I was really proud of Case. It was a great night for him, over 150 all-purpose yards as a quarterback, 2 touchdowns. Obviously, you can't do that by yourself. Those guys up front did a phenomenal job. I thought one of the Probably the most important play in the game, though, was on special teams on 4th and 5, and our punt team gets a free first down for us.
Right.
When we're about to literally have to give the football up at a really bad time. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's what it boils down to. It's basically a hard count. And they jumped, and we get a free first down. Matter of fact, our Tomahawk Award goes to a position group. I don't know that we ever given it to special teams, but they won it this week because that those are those little things that you don't realize it, but those are the things that really win the ball game for you at the end of the night.
Absolutely.
And that free first down by special teams was a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And Case didn't have to throw the ball that often. He threw it a few times, but being able to run, Travis still had a pretty good night. Travis had his 2-yard rushing touchdown in the beginning. We made our Southern Air cool play of the game. Was that tell me if you could, that winning touchdown, the game, what's that formation? Do y'all call that a certain formation?
Yeah, we just call it the T.
Is it the T? That's what I called it, but I wanted to make sure. Because you had
1947 football
push.
Right there.
We called it the tush push, too. But
that's right.
That was phenomenal. I mean, you had guys that don't normally back there. I seen Ponche was back there. I think Josh Lloyd was back there. Mm-hmm. And it was just – Case hit the line, and then the rest of the crew go ahead and put it. And that was our Southern Air cool play of the game this week. Because of that, of course, winning that ball game, Tioga gets the win, 20-16 over a phenomenal Franklin Parish team. And I'm telling you, it was such an up and down night on that. Of course, we start off pretty hot. We march down the field, we score, and we tend to do that every game. Travis has had that opening drive normally is pretty productive for us. And, of course, Travis seems to have a touchdown almost every ball game. But, again, that bodes well to our offensive line, the unsung heroes, the guys that really never get a whole lot of credit. But, again, they might – you don't call their names out very often, and I try to as much as I can, but
absolutely.
They're in the trenches. It's hard to even see numbers because they're just basically – mauling each other down there. But there's a reason when you have a very good back like we do with Travis and Kenny Ponche and all that, it's because of that offensive line.
It is. No, I you have to give those guys a lot of credit because they are the reason that in any football program that you win. They say that defense wins championships because at some point you got to stop somebody. That's very true. Defense is what wins championships, but, offensive lineman is what wins football games. And because they're the ones that keep you on the field, and you don't win without scoring.
Right.
So
absolutely,
they're the ones who take care of all of that. No matter what you got in the backfield from a skill position standpoint, if those 5 guys up front aren't getting it done, then it ain't happening.
Well, tell me a little bit going back to special teams, if you could. We've kind of mixed it up a little bit. We've had Ethan Bridges come in and kick some. We've had Woolery come back in, and is this kind of like drive type of deal, or do you have a set kicker, or are you just kind of working both of them into rotation?
Well, Woolery's a senior, and Bridges is a very talented freshman, and so we just kind of work both of them. They love each other. They're really good about, helping each other out. They both play soccer for us at the school, and so they're friends. It's not any kind of begrudging, competition. One's happy for the other one, and they're both outstanding people. And the thing with Bridges that we're really super fond of is his overall athletic ability. He starts for us at receiver at junior varsity football on Monday nights, and he's very good hands and just a really intelligent kid.
You don't see that very often from your kicker, and both of them, especially kickoffs, they boot it pretty good deep into the end zone, get a couple touchbacks. And nice to have not worrying about kick returns and all that.
That's right.
So a big night here. Last Friday night was our homecoming night where we take care of Franklin Parish, and so we're going to take a break. We're going to take our first break of the night. When we come back, we're going to talk about tomorrow night's matchup against the Neville Tigers. And anybody knows football in the state of Louisiana, you know who Neville is. And we're excited about playing him. This is a high probability of being for the district championship later on down the road. We got a couple of more games, but normally these two teams are battling it out. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come right back here and talk a little bit of Neville Tioga tomorrow night here. We are at Quebedeaux's Cajun Cafe here in Pineville. This is the Reservation Roundup on 446 Sports.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone, day or night, wherever you are or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell.
Is your vision just not
buying car insurance?
And welcome back, everybody, here to Quebedeaux in Pineville, Louisiana. This is the Reservation Roundup with Coach Kevin Cook. Coach stepped aside here. We got a couple of the young receivers for this Tioga team. Again, my name is Billy French. This is a 446 Sports production of Tioga football. This is the coach's show here that we do every Thursday night. We got two receivers for your Tioga Indians here tonight. We got Kervin Johnson, the sophomore, and Kewan Kyle, the junior. And, fellas, pick up those mics for me. We're going to talk a little bit of football. We'll start with Kervin here to my left. You're right on your screen out there. Kervin, tell me a little bit about last week's matchup with Franklin Parish. Didn't have to throw the ball as much as we needed to. We were able to run the ball. Tell me what it's like in a receiver's mentality of where you're basically just blocking majority of the night.
I mean, I think most receivers want to get the ball, but we want to take whatever the easiest. So I'll block the win. So we just do whatever we can to win.
Let me ask you this: Do you like hitting people though? Like when you do catch the ball and you're going at it, you attack someone. You like to land the lick, or do you try to avoid the hit? You can be honest, man. We go ahead. Tell me the truth.
Honestly, I try to avoid the league.
That's fine. Hey, you got to make sure that you're able to play more and not get injured, huh?
Yes, sir.
I like it. Well, all right, Kewan. Of course, you've already been on the show once before. I know that. But same with you, receiving wise. But you also play the quarterback position as well. You're the backup with Case. So tell me a little bit. What do you like more right now? Are you more receiver oriented, or do you really like that quarterback position?
Most definitely more receiver oriented.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Again, this week we didn't need it. We didn't have to throw the ball that much down the field.
No,
I have a feeling this week against Neville, we're going to need to throw a lot more. They're going to have some size on that defensive front that's going to wreak havoc on trying to get a lot. We hope that we can run the ball. Every team wants to run the ball, but you're going to have to be open on the outside, and there's going to be some D1 players lined up on you on the other side. How exciting is that to try to make a name for yourself and try to get some separation from this Neville Tigers team?
It's real exciting. I mean, to be able to go up against players that's supposedly D1 and going to college, make a name for yourself, and then showing what you can do against those great players.
Yeah, that you belong. Same question to you, buddy. Are you excited about going against because you're a sophomore, so you've never played at Neville. Now, were you able to play your freshman year at Neville, or did you travel?
No, sir,
No.
I didn't.
It's a heck of an atmosphere. It is a college atmosphere. If you've never been, this is it's a high school, but it's got that college feel. I'm telling you, you're going to feel the atmosphere. The stands are going to be booming. It's like the easiest way I can do it. It's like the homecoming every night times about 10. So it should be a super fun because y'all going to get to experience this. Very, very good. Tell me about how your season's been going, Kirby, because you've been getting more and more into the rotation. I've been able to call your name a lot more the last 4 or 5 weeks, and you've been making some plays, being able to get the ball in your hands and get some separation. How fun is it to be a good on such a team that's so good this year and being able to be part of the winning culture?
I mean, it's exciting getting to touch the ball.
Yeah, because you get separation, you get to beat these DBs, and you do that. The little quick pass to the outside that you got one last week, that little quick, and where you get the buzz. Normally, I know earlier in the season, Jacorian had one. I think Josh had a couple of them, but it was you that got one this week. And I've seen as soon as you got it, you're busting up field. You're looking at your lead blockers and everything. It's got to be a cool thing to be able to, your team's coming in. We're 7-1. We're going into Week 8 matchup. We're going against a really good Neville team. And you're one of the best teams in the state. It's got to be a pretty good experience.
Yes, sir.
It absolutely. So, again, is there any type of, at school, of course, are you guys like the big men on campus because, how good the Tioga's doing this year?
I mean, most people cherish the football team, obviously.
Yeah.
We're doing, at this point, I would say we're doing better than we did last year, although we did do great last year. We had a great season last year. We're doing better than we did last year, and the team keeps getting better as the years go.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're number 7 in the power ratings, which is phenomenal. And, of course, you want to try to climb that and get that first-round bye if you can. But, I mean, does it change anything, from week to week? I mean, are you does the student body look at you guys any different after a big win like Franklin Parish?
I think so, but we just try to get better every week.
Yeah, try to stay humble. I got you. Trying to make sure that we've been here, we've done this before.
Yes,
we're good shape. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on here, and I hope to have I hope we get to come back next week with a big win over Neville. First time Tioga was able to beat Neville, and y'all. I hope that you guys both have something to do with that and have some positive stuff here. So we appreciate that very, very much. We're going to take another break. And we're going to come back. We're going to talk to Coach Kevin Cook, and we're going to talk about the Neville Tigers here. Bringing up, this is Kervin Johnson and Kewan Kyle here with us as well. And wide receiver, and a quarterback. But we appreciate the guys for coming out here and getting a little FaceTime on the show. And we'll be right back after this break on 446 Sports. This is Tioga
Time for our red, white, and cool summer event at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Right now, you can save on a new energy saving system. No money down, 0% interest, and no payments till June 2024. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing or visit us online.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family for all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, apparel and promotions in Pineville.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our tradition of eye care excellence in Cenla spans nearly 40 years. From your next family eye exam to cataract and glaucoma evaluations, trust your vision to the experienced eye professionals at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Appliance Parts Company in Alexandria has all your major appliance parts needs. We sell parts to all major appliances as well as new appliances, including window units, chest, and upright freezers. Appliance Parts originally opened its doors on Lee Street in 1972, and we're now open at a new location on Memorial Drive to serve you better. Stop by, say hey to our crew, and check out our awesome holiday gifts. Appliance Parts, 2208 Memorial Drive in Alexandria next to Target. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday from 9 till 12.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Reservation Roundup here live at Quebedeaux in Pineville here with Coach Kevin Cook of your Tioga Indians. Want to say a special thank you to our producer behind the scenes, Mr. Chuck Perkins. We appreciate him.
Definitely.
He is the reason that all this stuff runs smooth. And without him, I promise you, it would just be audio with me. I wouldn't be able to do this video. I could just do the audio.
I don't even know if I could do audio, to be honest with you.
But we appreciate Chuck behind the scenes making it look good, and it takes a lot of effort to try to make this look good. And
yes,
so we appreciate Chuck again. Hey, tomorrow night we're heading to Monroe. We're super excited. Chuck and I have been talking all day. We're going to head out about 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get down there and go get set up. We got permission, thank goodness, from the Neville team. Appreciate them for allowing us. They got us a little spot in the press box. So we'll be able to call the game tomorrow night here live with video and audio. Again, big matchup against this only one loss against a very, very good Ruston team. I'll kind of go over a little bit of what Neville's done this season. They played week 1 Evangel Christian Academy, won a 30-29 overtime win in that ball game. Played Ouachita, which Ouachita's down this year. But they got the win 19-15. Huntington, they beat them 50-20. North Caddo 54-0, and you're going to start hearing a lot of that 0-0. That defense of Neville sometimes can really hurt you. Then they lose a tough ball game at Ruston, 14-10 for their only loss. Then they beat Peabody 51-0 and Grant 41-6 last week. And then now they're going to be playing against our Tioga Indians, and should be a fun matchup, Coach. I did some research on them. They do have a quarterback, Amon Fuller, 6'1", 175-pound senior. He doesn't need to throw the ball that much. They're a pretty big team. Mm-hmm. Got a couple of linemen. I saw 300-pounders, a couple of those, and then had a pretty good running back, Jalen Nichols. And, of course, Dotson and Dumas are the wide receivers. And I know you've got to see a lot more videotape than what I've had just stat-wise. Tell us a little bit this Neville offense and defense, what they kind of run, if they're run-oriented or pass, if you don't mind.
Well, they're probably a little bit more run-oriented than pass, but they haven't had the necessity maybe of passing in some of those games. And that's one of the things that I've always said about Neville since we've been dealing with them for years, and they're not about trying to run the score up on somebody so they statistically they're going to lean towards running because sometimes that data gets skewed a little bit, right, in those other games. But a very classy program, like I said, they've always been great to us. Anything we've needed, we've been in the district with them more than one time. So. But obviously very talented with a very rich tradition, and those guys up there, matter of fact, I ran into a medical rep today, and he said, here in Alexandria, and he said, well, y'all are playing my alma mater this week, and so that Neville blood runs deep for
absolutely.
However long you're alive, and it doesn't matter where you're at, they find you, and so. I thought it was really cool that, it still means that much to him. So, just a lot of pride, a lot of tradition. But, like I said, statistically speaking, probably a little bit more run-oriented. But I don't think it's because of any other reason than some of the scores.
Right, yeah. When you're up that big, chances are you're not going to be throwing the ball around. You are going to try to run that clock out and run the ball a lot more. Big atmosphere, of course. I remember Jalen's junior, I believe it was his junior year, it might have been senior year. We went to Neville for the first time, and man, it
was his junior year when we went the first time.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
It was senior night then too. Seemed like we always meet them in district at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just now that's a draw because I'm there. I'm one of the people that helps make basically the lottery of that, and so it's just coincidence. But we'll be senior night again this time. He was there for 2015 for the senior night.
Yeah,
so.
And it was a phenomenal atmosphere. It was my first. Of course now. Looking back, because Jalen playing 5 years of college football, I got to go to a lot of cool stadiums and experience that atmosphere. But at that point, that Neville home game that we went to was the closest thing to a college game that I had ever experienced. Mm-hmm. The way that they tailgate, the way that they just, I mean, you can feel the vibrations in that stadium. Mm-hmm. They have the band right there behind end zone.
Yeah.
And it was just a really, really cool atmosphere. And I'm excited about these Tioga players that have not experienced it, because it's been 2 years since we went back, right? Since y'all were at Neville?
Well, I don't, it'd be hard. I'd be hard pressed to tell you who's been there and who hasn't. Oddly enough, I think the only people who haven't been there are our starters, because our young guys went and played there a couple Mondays ago.
Right. Okay.
So they all got to ride over there and play a Monday night game, in freshman football. So, our older guys, though, no, I don't believe that they've been there. They grew up in the other district.
Yeah.
So it'll be a great experience. This is the moments that you want to coach in. It's the moments that you want to play in on a big stage within a big field with something at stake. And so, with Neville moving up to 5A, it'll be the last time we'll be in the same district together in the foreseeable future.
Right.
So, it'll be a fun night, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Try to make history here. Try to get that W before they move up to 5A. Again, that was just announced the other day. Tioga, of course, staying in 4A. Excited about to see what the new district might look like. We won't know about that yet, but when that time comes and they announce that, that'll be really, really fun. Maybe we can do a little, as soon as we find that out, we can do kind of a little special edition and try to go over that as well. Again, like you said, we've changed districts. Of course, this is the second time that Neville's been in the district with us. And when that time, the original time came, it was for me as a parent at that time, well, it was overwhelming. Of course, we're changing from, we didn't travel very far. We got spoiled at Tioga that you're going to Peabody's and Grants and Ashes and Pinevilles and all that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you change districts and you're traveling to, back then it was Bastrop. We had Bastrop, Franklin Parish, West Washita, beautiful field, way out in the middle of the country.
It is a beautiful facility, but it is kind of out there.
And so now, of course, this will be possibly the last time that we would play them and we get to, finish it out at Neville, which is super exciting. So big matchup tomorrow night here, 7 p.m. We will be calling this game. It will be broadcasting here on 446 Sports. And, Coach, real quick, before we wrap it up here, how are we looking on health best that you can right now? Are we pretty healthy coming out of that? I mean, that was a big game last week here, and so far we've been blessed. I don't want to jinx anything, but we've been blessed this year health-wise.
Well, I think, for being in the week of the season that we're relatively healthy. Now we are beat up in a couple of spots, and there's going to be, a guy or two that we're maybe a game time decision, and then we may be out a guy. But that's just football.
Right.
That's the way football goes, and so the next guy is going to have to step up and play, and it's a great opportunity for that next guy as well. But we have been blessed this year. I think overall with good health, and so I'm grateful for where we are.
Yep, absolutely, and we're hoping that after tomorrow night's ball game. We have 2 more games after that. We are at home again. So our Peabody game, that'll be our senior night.
That'll be
that
senior
correct?
night next week.
Yeah, and then we finish the regular season at Grant, which we're blessed. Again, that's right down the road. Yeah, and that will be a Thursday night matchup for that ball game. Of course, we don't want to look ahead. We're focused on Neville, and I know that you and your coaching staff and team is focused on Neville, and we're excited about heading to Monroe tomorrow night. And we might be following right behind you, Coach. We might just be tagging behind the buses tomorrow.
We're going to probably get out of here at 3 o'clock ourselves, so we'll all be headed the same way at the same time.
I mean, it's not the most fun drive, on 165, but we're going to make the most of it. Grab us a little bite to eat and head that way. So, again, tomorrow night, 7 p.m., Tioga is going to be at Neville. Big matchup. 2 teams coming in 7-1. Both teams 7-1. Big matchup here. We're hoping to get a Tioga W tomorrow night and keep it going in this district here. And so, Coach, I appreciate you coming on tonight. I know this is a little bit shorter show that we have. We got a lot going on, of course, in the area. And this, these Saints, man, sometimes it's hard to get. No, the Saints playing tonight here. But anytime that you do, again, want to watch one of our 446 Sports, we not only do we carry Tioga, we carry Ash, we carry Pineville, we carry Buckeye, we carry Menard. And so you can always go back and watch these anytime. Again, we say it every week, and it's going to be on repeat. Go to these games. fill the seats. Get out there, pack the seats here, and support your local team. When you get home, go back and watch it's on there. And if you need to see anything, you can always do that. So for Billy French, our partner behind the camera, Mr. Chuck Perkins, thank you, Coach. We appreciate you coming on here, and we're going to wrap it up here tonight. So see you tomorrow night at Neville. Tioga takes on the Tigers. Thank you.
Thank you.